Here's the paper I wrote that won me a $500 scholarship. I believe the universe was designed with purpose. I also believe that the creator of all materialism and spirit did so with goodwill. I'm designed with that purpose in my DNA, and so are you, as are all. The grand design is good in nature and true to its means, though I think as humans we sometimes forget that. We can get so full of the hype of the media and the corruption of the government that we lose hope and give up. This is something I've dealt with throughout my life. But with maturity comes experience, and I've learned not to react to unsound facts and the details of life. I feel by simple prayer and meditation I'm better able to challenge situations than if I was to lash out or fight against. But this was not always the case. I believe today is better than yesterday, and I think with positive people working towards a common goal, tomorrow can out-achieve today. I believe our youth is at better advantage to change the way this world goes than we were even a generation ago. I've seen many good changes occur in the world in my 48 years, such as the tearing down of the Berlin Wall, the end of the Cold War, and sub-movement and equality between the sexes and different races, though there's still much work to be done. The drive and focus of my life is to do my part to change what I feel are injustices in the world. I'm a huge believer in aiding the underprivileged, not only so their basic needs are met, but also so they gain a voice and become self-supporting. I'm a believer in that it's not what you produce or what you can gain in life that is important, but the inner conversations of souls to souls, friendships, and spiritual and more emotional surpluses that make life more valuable and worth living. I feel more rewarded with smiles and laughter than with a big paycheck. I believe in duty and obligation and brotherhood, sisterhood, and the bond of humanity. This is sometimes difficult for me, though, for sometimes I see other humans putting their personal want lists ahead of the common good of all. I've seen many men fall, and though it's difficult for them, I've seen them rise again with the guidance of God and others that can relate to them. I'm a firm believer in the power of God. He's the only one that can take us from the ashes of self-seeking and build us into the creatures He designed us to be. I also feel that everyone should be responsible for their actions and be held accountable for them. I'm of the belief that my actions affect others in my life. If my acts and intentions are good in nature, then I feel my relationships will flourish. I believe all people need accountability. We all need to answer to someone, and we need to stay teachable and continue to grow. Where did all these creeds come from, you may ask? I now ask you to come with me on a journey through some of the postcards of my existence and take a look at where I started and how through my relationship with life and those in my circle and God took me from where I was and brought me to where I am now. It was not only me and those around me that got me here, but it was my Creator, the spirit of my life force. My mom was only 15 years old in 1969 when she received the news that she was pregnant with me. This was pre-Roe versus Wade, so abortion was illegal, and also during that time, it was improper for a pregnant girl to go to public school, so she was forced to give up her school career when I was born. Page turn. We lived at my grandma Mary's house, and there was love there. I'm a big believer of love as a changer of lives. And I think if it wasn't for the love in my early life, I may not have turned into the person I am. When I was about 4, my grandma Mary took me to church on Sundays. I enjoyed it, and I remember laying in bed at night praying not only for myself and my family, but for others in the world. I prayed and prayed until I ran out of things to pray for. Then I'd lay there for hours in my head thinking over and over if I could find anything else to pray for. Flash forward to elementary school. At this time I was not in church, for my mom had married my stepdad and my grandma was out of the picture. I achieved well in school, and we had the house, the business, the pool, the barbecues on the weekend. Our family portrait was beautiful. I had many friends and played sports, and I loved being a kid. But there were things that bothered me. I had been bullied at school, and I had fought back, so other kids looked up to me as a fighter. I think this period opened me up to the notion that people were worth standing up for. But I also realized that most people didn't stand up for them. Also, sometimes standing up led me into trouble. I got suspended several times for fighting. I had the right idea, but not the right means at this time in my life. But I stood firm and rose. I believe it was at this time that my testimony began to form. But then, the divorce. When I was